Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Snake Pass. Let's continue. So, next level, we'll see if we can do it. I've slept since the last recordings session, and in all fairness, that probably alleviated some of my frustration. Very possible I also have lost all the skill that I had gained up until this point, if there was really any skill to be gained here. This level looks a lot like the last level. Let's see. Apparently I touched the edge of the fire and that wasn't enough to fully kill me. That's interesting. But that's all of a sudden we're getting life bars. Interesting. Alright, let's kind of grapple around this and see if we can use this as a way of getting up. So even before we've really even started the game, we're having to kind of work ourselves away around. Yeah, this is that in a nutshell, isn't it? That we are going to have to be particularly careful about. Like, we're gonna have to be really careful about not falling down and about the tail not hitting the lava, because that's part of the whole thing, clearly. And see, if this was just a long challenge to get to this point and then the gate was already open, that might be alright. I could still kind of see room for complaining, certainly, but at the very least, then it's not really asking as much. Does the fact that this is spinning affect anything? Like, I'm just being fairly cautious here because I don't want to fall down and it's funny because it does kind of feel like my even just sitting in the place and holding the grip button doesn't seem like it kind of stays. So I don't know if this is a case where the game has the snake moving kind of even when it really shouldn't be, or if this is just a kind of simple case of me screwing up the controls. I just want to get up here and touch this to checkpoint it. After that, and then we'll make it around here. So there, I suppose, is a bit of an argument you might be able to make that this is a kind of game where you're supposed to only play for about an hour and then put away and kind of let the frustration die down. But I don't know if I personally believe in that style of gameplay. Like, sure, there are some parents and kids out there that only get an hour of screen time on like a school day, or but I just don't think in an interactive medium when you're being challenged, if that's realistic. Like, I could see 2 or 3 hours on a weekday, because sure, you've got your prime time there, and theoretically parents are watching something for at least something on some screen for at least 2 or 3 hours in the prime time. And let's face it, most adults are probably spending their entirety of their day looking at a screen. So if it was what was good for the goose was also good for the gander, I think the truth of the situation would really be closer to adults spend 6 to 12 hours a day looking at some kind of screen. Screen time also is a very weird concept to me, because it certainly wasn't something I had when I was a kid. I was more along the lines of, if somebody isn't bleeding, everything is going fine. If somebody wasn't bleeding or crying or something like that, that's pretty much as much as my parents cared about. And I certainly was allowed to play way too much video games than was normal or healthy, although it did eventually end up with me being relatively decent at least having an opinion on video games, if not a slightly above average level of skills, what I like to describe myself as. I'm not any kind of specialist who tried to play in specific games. Oh man, the frustration's not there, but you definitely can tell how this is just one screw job challenge after another. Like, the whole point here is to put you in incredible amounts of danger. And unless you struggled through this and then became immune from fire, which seems kind of unreasonable, I can't move. Yeah, like, I was getting literally no movement there. Alright, well. Can I now work my way around an edge? No. So. The trick here is to, I guess, work our way back to the checkpoint and save ourselves. The snake has this ability to kind of fling itself that I wouldn't really attribute to a snake. It just does not feel like something most snakes could do. Oh man. Well, the good news is I don't think I actually need to go that direction. Unless that's the way out. Let's see. I got close. That was a little interesting too, because that I was on a ledge and it still determined I wasn't good enough as far as. Alright. Help me back up this way. Wasn't there a checkpoint over here? Just kind of wiggle. And the final one is over here. I wonder maybe if I'm just being slightly spastic and that's why the snake is moving faster. Because that might be the case, certainly. That I might just be kind of wiggling. I am kind of wiggling my left thumbstick back and forth. Interesting. It's a little surprising I was doing that without really realizing it. But that certainly also gets to a problem that we've run into with this game, is that this game has already caused a finger to my thumb to blister. So it wasn't terrible. It's healed now, but it is important to remember that and know that this control mechanic as an idea may be cool and all, but it totally isn't polished, and it totally isn't the right move for a game. Alright, I'm gonna just hold A and basically float, and then let's just get out of this level. Take note, we're not trying to find all the keys. I don't even care where they are. I'm not, well, we have to get all the keys to the gate, but I don't care where all the little wisp blue water things are. They're called wisps. They don't look enough like a wisp to me to call it that. And I don't care where all the coins are. I just want to try and rush here and get through as much of this game as possible without rage quitting, and I think that's about all I'm gonna be able to enjoy out of this game, which totally sucks. Like, the idea that you're effectively at most getting a 1/9 of the amount of entertainment out of a game is a ridiculously low percentage. Now, certainly in some games you don't just by default get everything, unless you're going to be 100% collectible player. But usually you see at least, I would say 70% of a game. Like, generally when I'm playing a video game, I tend to see and play at least at least I would say 70% of a game. Sure, that's not an unreasonable number. Come on, wiggle back and forth. It is very possible that I was just not understanding the wiggling part. So it does kind of make it feel like this game would have been better suited if it had an easy mode. Something that specifically would allow you to not have to wiggle, and you can instead just press forward. So I'm going to jump up here. And then I'm going to kind of coil around this. So, do we take this fast and potentially die? Do we leap and make a leap of faith? Like, we've got no checkpoint we've hit since back there. Do we take it slow and grip? Let's see. I don't think taking it slow and gripping was the right way. I think you have to basically leap. Let's see. If I try to hit this and then get over here, and then come over here and get this. Is there possibly a way to cheat this and get up to the height we want? Like, no. No, that's not gonna work. That's totally not gonna work. So we have to get up here, and very possibly we do have to have this. Well, that's interesting, the way that played out. Alright. Yeah, this feels like we just gotta jump. It really just looks like we gotta jump. And at a certain point, you'll reach your goal. But oh, monster. Oh wait, never mind. And then we're just gonna wiggle our way through all of this, and wow, that was real lucky. Next we have something. It looks like we might need to jump down from up here. I don't think I can reach that. So let's go this way. They've got me looking the other direction as if you were supposed to go that way. Find that suspicious. And no, you don't have enough time. Take note that there was a water animation that played in the location where I landed. But yeah, no, you don't really have time to get into the water and save yourself. That's certainly another tweak you could have made. Like, nothing would have stopped you from doing that. So this, I think, wants me to move a ball downward, which means there's a ball somewhere. What color is let's see, can we zoom in and zoom out? Not from the angle we're looking at. Gotta be a little careful. Alright, I see the ball over there. That is, still can't really. That's the yellow one. Okay. So, what I think they want to do is have me hit this and do that. Okay. So then how do we get the ball to fall? Sure would be easier if the if the game would let the bird be the playable character for a while. Fly around an area, you know? Alright, so either I didn't spin it enough, or I just have to crawl up there and make the ball fall. Let's see what this does. Oops. So there's a coin down there. But I guess there was a switch over here I needed to flip first. Oh, no, no, no. And I didn't hit the checkpoint, but it seems like that didn't matter. That's interesting. So they want me to wrap around this before I die, I guess. And let's see if that's stuck. All of a sudden, being able to affect the world and then dying is an option. There definitely would have been other places in the game where that would have been helpful. And I guess because something's still wrong there. Yeah. It definitely doesn't feel like I was supposed to have to do this. Because we've already done 2 puzzles where we've rolled a ball around. That's pretty repetitive. Well, I guess convenient positioning sometimes does lead to a lucky break. Although, I'm not sure that really matters. There you go. The bird lifts your tail kind of vertically, so it won't straighten it out. Well, I guess it's, yeah, it won't straighten it out in a horizontal fashion. I want to look here and see if the coin is still there. So this is another one of those cases where if I could get my tail to fall off the edge, maybe. Let's see. So little tricks like that probably exist throughout the entirety of the game. Where are we going next? The real question is what breaks us out of the cycle that we're currently in. What can this game do short of adding a lot of missing assistant features and not requiring me to find the gate collectibles while I'm running around trying to do a kind of new game plus mode style of gameplay. Yeah, because if I have to run around and find the gates, that's just the end of it. Like, I'm not going to play the entirety of the levels over and over again. If you get the benefit of just being able to stretch yourself to one place and then collect that one coin and then potentially at that point just save and exit and it save your progress, or even if it was something as difficult as you have to make it to the gates, but you don't have to open the gates. I would be okay with that too. That's a little worse, because certainly there are probably some collectibles in these levels that, well, as silly as this may be, can we just do this? I guess the answer is probably no on that. They've probably gotten it so that it is. Let's see. Nope, nope, you totally can do that. So you can kind of just shortcut this whole thing. And I totally see why a speedrunner might want to play a game like this, because there looks like there's dozens of different built-in ways you could shortcut yourself into other areas. That being said, at this point, the only thing I'd want to see would be a 100% speedrun. With all the collectibles, because it would be sort of pointless and silly to just see somebody speedrun the gate parts. That's effectively what I'm doing right now, is trying to speedrun all the gate parts and just doing it with all the skill of an average player. There's another issue here of they don't really tell you where the gate is. I think it's this way. I think I saw it here. So there's a couple different things I have to do to get back in that direction. And it seems kind of obvious now that had I gone in that direction first, the other two directions first, I could have saved myself some time. Right, so we need here to get up this far. This is where the save and exit would be a great example. Like, just let me leave this area. Or, you know, let me look around this area, have a map of some sort. These levels are so small, they don't really need a map, but I would also argue it wouldn't have taken you any extra effort to make a map. Well, it would have been real extra effort, of course, but it wouldn't have been a lot. It could have been a very flat thing. Almost certainly in the development of your game, you made a 2D flat image of every world you were developing anyways. So even if you were just going to combine what would have been concept art sketches of the levels, as long as those were somewhat accurately depicting what was going on. Alright. So, I think what I want to do is this. I want to climb around here. Alright, and then go over here and try and wrap save myself from burning just to fall to my doom. Yeah, we were doing well there, and now we're back to struggle. So in roughly 24 hours I gain enough, enough of a bit of luck. Let's just call it luck. Sure. To maybe make it through 2 levels, and then all of a sudden all my luckiness disappears and I'm back to a frustration. That does seem to be about accurate for me. Like a lot of games, certainly I don't need luck to beat. I don't need I'm actually gaining skill and getting better at it. Here it just seems like the batteries are very, very small as far as skill and energy and frustration, and then it just falls apart. And that's not unheard of in games that are frustrating. Certainly, like if you're not having a good experience, you are just gonna be on tilt, as the not football people, poker people say. Yeah, I thought maybe I could get back up that way. And the controls in this game certainly are just putting me on tilt. Right, we want to wrap around here fairly quickly. It seems like part of the problem is that your positioning kind of just shifts. Like you are. Oh, I did go the wrong direction, didn't I? So if the game has you looking like one direction and then the platform shifts in a different direction, then your kind of natural instinct to continue to push in a certain direction works against you. Alright. I'm gonna just fall down. I'm not even gonna bother to try and get super easy collectibles. So yeah, we really suffered there from a lack of a map and a lack of an ability to go into like a first person mode and look around. Even if it was just a first person mode with clicking the right stick on and looking from Noodle's perspective, I would have been able to do a lot better than what I'm getting here, because this camera is so zoomed in on Noodle. It's crazy. You're not able to see most things. For a second there, I thought I actually got no collectibles whatsoever, which doing that would probably be a challenge. Alright, so next recording, we do Roasted Ruin. Assuming we can get through it and don't rage quit, then there's going to be 3 more levels across a fourth area, which I kind of feel like one of those is going to be a boss fight. We made it through another episode. I guess that's about all I can say. For a brief second there, my thumb wasn't blistering and sore. It's back to being blistering and sore. This really isn't a game you can play. Like, maybe on the Switch with the Wii-like controls, if you were waggling the Joy-Con back and forth, you wouldn't be pressing so much with the thumbstick to move forward. But I imagine those controls are going to be pretty bad too. This totally feels like a game that needed another 6 months in polishing its controls, or just needed to dumb it down quite a bit so that it would just auto reach for collectibles if you were within a very wide area of a sphere around him, so Noodle would just help you out and reach towards something, and it would auto grab on the poles and auto wrap around poles. Like there clearly needs to have been some probably very hard to program AI where the snake movement mechanic would be assistive. And more than likely, if I was to guess, I doubt in the conscious brain, as much as we could ever understand it of a snake, I doubt a snake really does control its muscles as much as you think. It probably, like human beings, is a lot of stuff that is just on autopilot. I don't have to think, put my left foot forward and my right foot forward. No, I can just walk to a place and my subconscious or the muscles themselves can react to things just fine. So it's not even realistic or fair to be playing a game where you're controlling a snake, probably, I would guess, where you have to control everything. And there's a double-sided sword there. I'm also complaining about the fact that I can't control the back half of the snake. I'm only really guiding the head, but the only way to lift the tail is to use the bird, and that's the barest minimal amount of control. So I would like to see potentially an expert mode where I was controlling the back half of the snake with maybe the right stick at a certain point. But that's missing also. More often than not, though, I would just want major assistive technology, and I'd want this to be a real kids game that I think kids could really play. This is almost like baby's first rage inducing game where they're gonna throw a controller through a TV, particularly if you were really obsessed about getting all the collectibles. I guess it's almost a blessing in disguise, the fact that they haven't emphasized or told you that you need to collect any of the collectibles, because that makes it certainly a lot easier to just ignore things. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend to follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.